It's time for you to break camp and advance. Look at your neighbor and say advance. Look at your other neighbor and he said advance. All right? We're going to talk about that today. How do we break camp and how do we advance? What does breaking camp look like in our lives personally? And what does advancing look like for us in our lives? First of all, we got to define what a camp is. How many of you love camping? Anybody love camping? Yeah. It's cool, right? You spend a lot of money, you go out and get a lot of gear, and you go out in the woods for a weekend and act homeless. It's kind of cool. And then you sleep in one of these little deals called an Enos, which is like go to the chiropractor on Monday. And camping's good, but here's the deal. God knew for them, camping wasn't what God had for them. So what is a camp in our life spiritually? If you have a pen, I want you to write this down. A camp is anything in our life that keeps us wandering in the wilderness instead of stepping into God's purpose and promise. A camp is anything in our life that keeps us wandering in the wilderness instead of stepping into God's purpose and promise for our life. And here's the thing about camps that we need to understand. We must be willing to break camp to experience a breakthrough. I talk to people all the time. They go, Shawn, man, would you pray for me? Like, if my kid doesn't change, I'm going to murder them. Like, I'm going to get convicted, right? Hard time. I meet people all the time. They go, Shawn, would you pray for my finances? I need a financial breakthrough in my finances. I need God to do something in my job. I need God to do something in my marriage. I need God to do something in my boyfriend's life and my girlfriend's life. Listen, if we're going to experience a breakthrough, it's going to begin when we make the decision to break camp. God looked at them and he said, guys, you've been at this mountain long enough. I never destined you to stay in this camp. I destined you to step into my promise. The first step to a breakthrough is when we decide to break camp. We got to identify the camps we've created. You know, here's what I've learned about in the Christian life. We love camping. You know what I'm saying? We love camping. We have things that we do. And for Israel, think about for them. For camping, for them, it's the only thing that they knew. And for them, it was a big deal when God said, break camp. I mean, it would have taken almost 450 Levites just to tear down the tent of meeting. So when Moses said, hey, God said it's time to break camp. We got to move on. They were like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you sure you heard from God? Moses is like, yeah, it's time. We got to break camp. God said, I met with you on this mountain, but I never intended for you to stay here. Camping was for the wilderness. I made you for a permanent residence.